on your energy levels. Okay, so basically this is a, if you can see this image, this is a same age, all right, and your fat percentage for the same age group is different. So you could be having the same weight, you could be having the same BMI, obviously, but the fat percentage vary can have a lot impact on your metabolism, which also depicts what is your internal body age. So though the fat percentage is 22.6, here the body age would be 30, here it is 15.8, so body age would be 25, and here the fat percentage is 31.5 and the body age is 35. So weight is just a number, is what I would say. You would always want to necessarily see as to what is the body composition as well. So while anybody would judge you or you would judge yourself on weight, I would always suggest that you see for yourself how are you internally also aligned with yourself. Okay, so females should look to be at a fat percentage of 30% and below, and males should look to be at a fat percentage of 20% and below as well. Okay, all right, so this is just a depiction of different physical activities and what is the maximum amount. So you have different sets of energy producers, that is your carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Okay, now from these two it depicts which exercises actually is burning more of carbs and more of fat. So if you actually go to see, this red depicts the fat and the yellow one depicts your carbohydrate. All right, so the walking actually helps to burn more fat compared to when you would do a hurdle or you would even do cycling as such. Okay, but on the other hand, if you do more of weightlifting and walking, then you allow yourself to burn fat. Most of the times when we do other gym exercises, we end up burning carbs, and to be wanting to somehow reduce weight, or you look to just have that notion that, oh, if I reduce carbs, then maybe I will look to get that thing. But what happens is when we do that, we fail to understand that you are depriving yourself of giving enough energy, and hence your body works more on negation. Hence a necessary intake of how much you need to take is necessary, and so that you don't get more muscle breakdown going forward, right? Okay, now first, helping you to also understand why do you need to eat good healthy food. Okay, because it allows you to help develop, replace and repair cells and tissues. Okay, it produces energy to keep you warm, move around and work. Okay, it also carries out all the internal chemical processes as such as digestion in the body. Okay, and it helps you protect and fight against various infections and sickness as well. And at the end of the day, when you have all this in place, you would definitely feel good for the same, right? So why do we need to eat with a plan? Okay, because when you don't eat with a plan, that is due to not having time, eating junk food, not doing enough of physical activity, or there's a lot of lifestyle differences of constantly going out and having food and drinking stuff. Then what will
Sorry,
happen
Abigail.
is it still not
Just
showing?
to interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are here in the first slide itself. The second slide is not visible. So if you could just click on the slide would be visible. We can see only the first slide
What is the
in
slide? What
in
is
our
the
screen.
slide visible
The
to
role
you?
of nutrition in fitness. The first slide, the role of nutrition
Oh,
in fitness.
that's it. It's not moving, is it?
No, now it is moving. So you could just
So I
yes,
think I'll not go to the main screen. I'll just move from the side, so it's better.
sure. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so for people who missed, I mean, I think everyone missed. This was the difference in the body frames that I was showing, as to when you have weight and BMI similar. Okay, you could be varying as to your internal body age based on the fat percentage. So while you have a lower fat percentage, you feel much more lighter and better, versus when you are a little bit higher, your body also ages accordingly, right? So that's one of the thing. And yeah, I was mentioning on this. So this graph enables you to understand, so which exercise utilizes which batteries for output of energy. So the yellow one depicts you carbohydrate and the red one depicts you fat. Okay, so in as places of walking, weightlifting, you utilize more of fat. Okay, but in cases of when you do higher intensity kinds, you end up losing more of carbohydrate than on fat. Okay, Um, and yeah, while I just spoke, this was the presentation which allowed you to understand as to, why do you need food, because it helps you to, make more good cells, produce energy, do all your processes, and protect against all your infections as well. Okay. I was talking as to why do we need to eat with a plan, because when we don't have proper plan, right, when we are not eating on time, when we are eating any random food, exercise is not in place, lifestyle is gone for a toss, then it affects your cells and does certain mutations, and it causes all your lifestyle disorders. It is called lifestyle disorders for a reason, because we play around, we keep one thing and focus and forget the rest of the things also has to be taken care of. So as simple as diabetes, blood pressure, obesity, heart risk are on the higher end. Okay. All right. Now, yeah. So when you eat with a plan, obviously, which is when your food is aligned, you eat on time, that is exercise, you feel better, more focused. So the time you would take to do a certain amount of work, you would do it in shorter time, which means more productivity as to what you are doing. Okay. All right. Now, how does one also look to improve on vitamin deficiencies with diet? It is on doing regular blood checkups and understanding if you're higher or lower, and get help with your health professional and understand, and also cater with your diet as well. Okay. Now, if you go to see what makes us healthy, this graphs helps you understand that. It is more on the healthy behaviors that you do. Okay, that is about 50%. Your environment around you, which also contributes about your pollution and stuff, so what kind of environment stays also puts stress on your body. Genetics do play, and about 10% also access to having your medical care. But what we end up doing when we don't take this percentages into matter is that we spend more on being healthy by placing more efforts on giving medical services. Okay, and our health behaviors are very very minimal for ourselves. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now, but like I mentioned in the start, right, in the definition, your body is like your car and it needs to be fueled. So once it's fueled, it allows you to do a lot of work, and you can keep juggling your work as well. Okay. So there are certain times that we say that, why am I eating, I mean, like, I am working out and I am still gaining weight, why would that happen? That could be few of the reasons. Here would be that you would have been skipping certain meals, saying that it's okay, I am not eaten, so which means, it doesn't matter, kind of thing. Then you would have uncontrolled portion sizes, like, we don't know when to stop. We would just eat till we are too full, till our mouth, and that is when we feel that okay, we are done. Okay. And then there is certain times we miss out on physical activities, and there's no consistency in doing it. Suddenly when we realize that okay, things are required for good and all that, I need to lose or something, then we end up doing crash diets for gaining faster results. But faster results will only cause damage to you rather than gains. And obviously poor eating habits also causes you to gain weight likewise. Now, understanding that y'all are also doing fitness and all, how should your meals be around your workout? Okay, you need to ensure that you have something before your workout, during your workout, and after your workout. Okay. Now, before your workout, you need to make sure it is some carb source, because carbs also helps proteins to do its own job. So if you don't have enough of it, it will cause protein to have muscle to have more breakdown. All right. So pre-workout is necessary. During your workout, you ensure that you hydrate, so that during workout you can continue to stay in your workout and push yourself as well. Okay. And post workout, you need to eat food which will actually help you repair both your carb and muscle breakdown that has happened during your workout, and that needs to be replenished. Allow yourself to consume those foods at least in the first 30 minutes of the workout that you finish, because that is when your body is in the highest state of broken downness. The absorption rate is higher, so when whatever you put in gets absorbed faster. So when we feel hungry, we are like, oh, I've done a workout, I deserve a slice of cake or something like that, right? So instead of doing that, you need to take care on the nutrients that has to be taken care. Okay. I've just listed a few options as to what you could do before, during, and after your workout, but it would still vary as to your personal choices and what personally everybody suits. So like a pre-workout, you could do a fruit. During workout, based on the intensity of the workout, you can do a plain water, or you could take certain solutions, but for the same you would need to take you would need to take advice from your dietitian as well. Okay. And post workout, you need to have some protein. So that would either come with your milk based eggs, smoothies, or you could even do whey protein as well. Okay. Now, certain times, why do you fall sick, right? So, like I said, it helps when you don't have right food choices, your immunity is going to drop down. Okay, hygiene is also one of the important things that caters to why do you fall sick. Not having meals on time, so the body does not know when am I going to get my next meal. So, in the attempt of weight and wanting to do internal processes, body falls. The temperature falls and things happen to you likewise. Stress also can lead you to have lifestyle disorders as well, and environment and immunity as well. Okay. Now, here are certain foods, like how can food help in maintaining weight or weight loss? Okay. When you eat correct food, right, it helps you, when you eat on time foods, it helps you to minimize cravings. You would realize that when you eat on time and everything, that day you wouldn't have cravings. But on the days if you would have missed a meal, or you would have eaten very less for a particular meal, say, suppose in today's breakfast, I would have had very less, the next meal I would be really hungry, and my portion sizes would go very huge. Okay. It helps you prevent from binging, increases your satiety, and helps also in losing fat. So obviously when you eat enough for yourself, you help your metabolism to be better at that point. Okay. As such, there is no weight loss pill or kind of thing. You need to know that you have to eat healthy, exercise, and on the top of it, you should also have your mental mind frame that you know that you can do the same as well, right? So mind also plays a very, very important role as to what you want to achieve. Okay. Here is a few list of things that you can add in shopping cart. Okay. Now this is basically just an idea as to why you need to do this. It's because that when you enter a shopping mall or any kind of supermarket, you should priorly make a list and then do it, rather than going over there and then you end up buying everything. So one of the hack, if you actually read out this, right, accidentally went shopping on an empty stomach, and now I'm proud owner of aisle 5. That indicates that when you're hungry, right, you would actually see, look out for foods for on those lines, and you end up buying so much. So it is very necessary that you make a list prior, and you don't go specifically on empty stomach before shopping, because that has a lot of psychological impact as to what you do as well. Okay. In case you travel around, or you are working outside and all, you can put this stuff in your bag, and not allow yourself to do junking of foods, and look to carry and have these in small breaks of yours. Okay. Now in case you are traveling, like not in your location, you can also look out on these options, and keep for yourself, so that you don't feel hungry, or you don't drop on your sugar levels as well. Okay. Now, importance of water. Okay, why you need to drink enough water? Because 60 to 70% of body is composed of water, and if you don't have enough, you will feel sluggish and lethargic as well, and the concentration level also drops. Okay. And how do you monitor? Nowadays you also get an app to do. You can either do that, or you can start by tracking, or you can even keep in handy, like you could keep two bottles at your desk, and make sure that you are ensuring to have it. If you are having in smaller glass sizes and you end up taking only two or three, like you could increase the size of your glass. uh, Eat fruits and vegetables that have more water content. So at times you might have not eaten drank enough water you are consuming by your fruits and vegetables. And you can also do a twist to your water. Maybe you could have in form of coconut water, lime water. You can add some cucumber slices to your water, and then have, so that certain times when the palatability of having plain water is not enough, you can at least enjoy on these terms. Okay. Now, how to ensure that you are hydrated enough? is that you need to check your urine color. Now, someone would come and ask me that how do I know how much water do I drink? It will still vary from person to person as to how much dehydrated you've also become based on your physical activity, based on your climate, age, workouts. So by the end of the day, if you see your urine color on the plainer side, you need to see for yourself how much water did I consume throughout the day. Okay, that would be appropriate to you, and that would still change based on weather and physical activity at that point you are doing. Okay, and if you find yourself on a darker range, which means you have not hydrated yourself enough. Okay, now, this will also lead to constipation. So, you need to make sure that you eat enough for your, I mean, drink enough water so that your motions get sorted. And one of the reason is that if you get constipated, the next day's the entire day's meals goes for a toss. So if you are required to have certain food and you are constipated, you will not feel the urge to have food correctly. So that is one of the things that you need to know. Now I've just highlighted few blood tests. These are on a cyclic manner of a 6 months to a 3 months to a year. You can keep yourself on check on these parameters of blood test. That could be your HbA1c, iron, calcium, vitamin D, B12, cholesterol, thyroid, and nowadays even omega 3 has come. So we also do omega 3 in our clinic. So you can probably reach out to Mradul or Prashant, and we can look to guide you through. Okay, and yeah, we will be floating around the form for you to whoever is interested can get a call, talk with the nutritionist as well in our clinic. Okay, and yeah, there are just certain things, right? Just some laugh out stuff for you all. Okay. Now, certain times when we do have lifestyle disorders, you would end up having sometimes sugar problems or thyroid problems or many other things. In that scenario, you obviously it is management at that point of time. So it has to be a balance of your medication, your food habits, your monitoring, and your exercise. It is not only one thing. So you need to understand that everything works in tandem, and of all those things you have to also monitor that whatever you're doing, is it working for you in the right direction as well. Okay, so healthiness of the food we eat decreases by 1.7% for every hour that passes a food. So if I've prepared something and I keep it for a long time, it has a tendency to decrease on the nutritional value also. Okay, and yeah, this study was done wherein it allowed them to understand that if you have people around you, okay, who have the same kind of food. So in the study with females, it was found that women with friends that consume fast food and soft drinks have a higher intake of these foods. So it's basically people who you surround with, you would have similar kind of behavior. So if I have people around me who are constantly binging on food or constantly drinking kind of thing, I might also give in and end up with those kind of behaviors. So hence you need to look out for yourself and grow in the space where people are also in the same sync as yours. Okay, so just a reminder that nutrition is bio individual, hence do not google it and just and consult an expert to get a correct answer on the same. Okay, so I am done and I can take questions now.
Abigail, we had a query from one of our
Yes.
participant. If you could please take us to the post-workout slide and explain it
Okay,
once again.
just a minute. Huh? Was my screen visible, Prashant, or is it gone?
Yes, it is visible, Abigail.
Okay, take it. Yes, yes. What is the post workout he wants to understand basically? If he can unmute and speak is also fine.
Shivbalan, can
Yes,
you please
this
unmute and ask
yes,
your
yes,
query?
this one only. I can just make a note of it. Thank you for that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, is there any more questions or will
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, good morning. I have a question, ma'am. In this slide where it was a graph showing that the fat and carbohydrate loss with the various activities we do. So it is generally said that running is a better exercise for fat loss. Uh, and in the graph, if you can open that slide, so it is showing that running is the least has the least impact on fat loss.
Yeah.
Osman, can you please repeat the question? I guess Abigail missed it. Can you please repeat the question, the whole
Yeah,
question again?
can you please repeat? Yeah.
Sure, sure. I'll do that now. So it is generally said that the running exercise has more impact on fat loss rather than running. So, but in this slide, what we have, it shows that it has a very less impact
Yes.
comparing
So
to other sports.
yes. So
So
what
I just
happens
wanted
is,
to understand is what is correct.
okay, so what happens is, right, it is with the intensities of exercise that a certain nutrient will look to burn. Okay, so if you do a longer duration, shorter intensity kind of workouts, then you end up burning more of fat. Okay, so that is how there is always have been a misconception where we consider that only when I'm running, I am being able to do. Okay, now running at what pace also matters, so you need to see on the heart rate. So there is also a heart rate monitoring thing, which is dependent on age per se. Okay, and if you are managing to be in that heart rate, then you achieve your fat burning zone. But if you are going to be running extremely high, obviously you won't be in that heart rate zone, and you tend to burn more of carbs. So whenever we even work with a lot of athletes, right? So there is not much awareness as to that, oh, you need to take enough carbs for yourself because you are going to burn that. You end up because you've been misinformed by so many places that you need to reduce carbs to be able to more be better. It's not on the same lines. If you need to burn fat, you need to have enough of carbs into your system, and with the intensity dependent, your fat burns only likewise, because fat needs a lot of oxygen for you it to burn. So only when it gets at least 30 to 45 minutes of exposure of that is when the fat actually comes into picture of burning. Okay, so if you intend to walk, you could at least look to walk for an hour minimum per day.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
Hi,
you.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Ijaz. Ma'am, my question is, uh, we usually eating habit according to our body, which
Hmm.
is consuming. For
Yeah.
example, diabetes people, they want sugar and all.
Huh.
Me- uh, So how we have come to know which is a good for us and which is a bad for us? So any test is there for that, or we have to be how we
So
have to
what
come to know?
Yeah, you can get in touch with us and we can help you, guide you through. So we'll provide you with the list of blood tests. So what happens is, no, it's just that whenever we eat certain things and all, it has implications on your body as well. So your body will also have impact on your blood parameters, on your parameters of fat percentage and stuff. So as per your age, as per your need base, what is required for you, it is necessary to know. So giving you just generalized answer will not make sense. So I would tell you that you go on to these lines and make a necessary, maybe since Mradul, I mean, like, we are going to send off a form right across to help you with the same, so you can get in touch with a nutritionist and get an understanding on that as well. So
Okay,
if you've
thank
done
you.
any recent blood test or something, they will be able to explain you on the lines.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Participants who have doubts, you can please unmute your mic and ask the questions, or you can type your query in the chat box too, if you would like. Abigail will address those.
Hi, Abigail. This is Aditya here.
Hi
Uh,
Aditya, tell me.
yeah, I wanted to check about the nutrition requirements for children. I think
Okay.
most of the things that you've covered in your seminar, which was very good, by the way, I think it definitely explains a lot in terms of the nutrition requirements, what food to avoid, and the schedule to follow. In terms of children who are attending coaching at Game Point, now what kind of food they need to do before coming to a coaching program and after? is it similar to what the adults will do, or is there some change in it?
So the thing is that the food can be similar, but the calorification will be really high. So for from a kid perspective, right? Yes, these meals do matter, but they are also what you say growing, right? They are in their growing phase, and they are also working out a lot. So their output of energy requirement is really high. So somewhere down the line, if on the totality they don't have enough for themselves, so either growth or performance gets hampered. So in that attempt they will need to eat enough for themselves. Their eating requirement will be comparatively more than us also. So we should not stop them, because growth is something that is very limited for certain period of time, and weight is something that is still taken can be taken care in the later part also, right? So for kids as such, when they are into sporting and coaching kind of thing, uh, sports specific plans are different. So maybe in future we can actually do for the kids as well, to have the better understanding on that lines.
Hi, ma'am. This is Shobalan here. Basically, daily the kids are taking up coaching and all, like around 60 minutes to 90 minutes. But weekly, one day they will be having some only on the fitness, much on fitness one, maybe endurance or strengthening or this ones. Is that any special diet or something on that particular day? Because that day their fat burning or whatever the carbs burning will be much more higher on
Okay.
that particular day. So is that any particular food or food habits which you can suggest?
There are definitely a lot of food that will help, but it will be very specific to your child as well. Because see, like I mentioned to you in the earlier slide, right? We all are varied as per what our individual body is like. What would be their blood parameters? What would be the genetic type? And what would be, their eating behaviors, allergies, preferences, and stuff. So when I would, there are a lot of foods to be done, but then what are the improvements that the person is needing at that time is also very necessary. So as simple as like is he eating enough proteins for himself? Is he eating enough quantity of food for himself is very essential. So not only for the fitness day, sir, but also on an everyday basis it is necessary, because your food requirement is daily requirement, and it is not just one day kind of thing. So irrespective, because recovery is also needed, sir. So if they are doing like maybe 7 days a week, I would still suggest that one day they would take a rest day for recovery, because recovery is essential in also your growth pattern, right? So that is something that you should be looking more. So good amount of sleep is something which is very underrated for growth in kids. But an athlete on an average needs about 10 to 12 hours minimum to take care on that aspect of recovery and growth as well.
Abigail, I do have one query.
Yes.
Yeah, for someone who likes to work out at late evening, say 9 to 10,
Okay.
suppose. So does the food habit change for those athletes too, or is it the same if we prefer a workout time which is early in the morning, say 6 to 7?
So yes, the only impact which is in a different way. So most of the time, certain people would end up working out late due to their work hours and stuff like that. But there is what you say. I don't want to say it's side effect, but there is an impact of it. That meaning yet, because it's so near to your sleeping time, right? Then the food that you eat takes time for digestion, and you will only end up sleeping more late. Okay, there's no harm in doing, but there's one thing that certain people have shown, not getting proper sleep. Because see, the idea of working out is to help you boost your metabolism, is to help you keep alert. So when you kind of do towards the end of the day, you tend to get your sleep affected. So even if you might have slept due to tiredness per se, your sleep might still not be in sync, like the quality sleep that you get, right? Sleep cycle, that might still not be achieved. So if there is a chance for that person to actually shift the workout in the morning times, so that this is not affected, it will be great. If the person is still doing there, then he should just monitor that does it affect his sleep or not, and accordingly then his post workout meals will be on a lighter note and not a very heavier note. Okay, so he needs to have a comparatively smaller meal, like maybe he could do an egg whites at that point of time, or milk based, because you can't expect yourself to be heavy eating then and then looking to go to sleep automatically. So that is something that you have to look on those lines, you have to rule out on those lines.
Thank you, Abigail. There was also one more query from my side. What do you think is the required amount of time which should be there between dinner and your sleep time?
Okay, so the thing is, when you eat comparatively non-veg food, the quantum of food and the type of food also matters. Okay, so if it's obviously going to be a heavier meal, at least an hour or two should be given before you sleep, because when you sometimes sleep on heavy stomach, right, you will have chances of reflux as well. Okay, and your body is not in sync as well. So that is one of the things that needs to be taken care. So at least minimum of a hour or 2 hours max should be given to before you head retiring to bed.
Okay, we have one more question from one of our participants. He would like to know how would one increase his weight? For someone whose metabolism is too high, how would one increase his weight?
Okay. Now, certain times when your metabolism is high, I would say that don't go by the weight ratio. Go and check on terms of where do you lie on the body composition. Are you are on the correct range of fat and muscle? If that is so, and your energy levels are right, then weight is fine. If you are extremely low on weight, then you would really need to consult a nutritionist, because they would actually work on your gut health. A lot of the times when you're unable to increase weight is also sometimes when your gut health is not in place. So what happens is, if that is not in place, then, or you have a lot of gas or bloating kind of thing, uh, and you have a lot of food for yourself, then anything you have will not have proper absorption into your stomach. So you're like, oh, I'm having everything, but still I'm not getting enough, because the absorption side is only affected. So you would probably want to check on your gut health. And yes, caloric increase is still there, but yeah, this is something that, see, in order to see the output, right, you need to see what is the root cause. So you will first need to see what is the underlying root cause that is there. Because I do get a lot of the time people wanting to gain weight, and then suddenly I put them on scale and they are at an extremely high fat percentage, or they would be pre-diabetic, or they would even have thyroid issues. So I'm like, okay, I have to first make sure that I take care of you on these lines and then help you gain weight, right? So these are certain things, right? So just don't go by how you look, but see internally how you are, and take informed decisions is what I would say. I hope I have answered you, Vishwar.
Hi, ma'am. Just one more clarification,
Yeah.
especially for the kids who are coming in the evening session. They are taking out the coaching and all in the evening session. Most of the time, I could see that some of the kids they are telling that, sir, I just had my lunch and all. Probably, what is the suggested time to have that lunch and then a physical activity? What should be the gap should be there? Because even I'm also guessing that immediately after taking a lunch or something, so they should not have that much physical activities
Mhm.
which they cannot perform well. So ideally, what should the time gap should be there?
So they should at least look to keep 2 hours gap between a heavy meal and performance. And if they are doing a lighter meal and then coming for, then half an hour is also fine. But if it is a very heavy meal, then 2 hour gap is essential. It's same as to how I would tell, na, when you go to retire for your bed, you cannot sleep immediately because your body is still adjusting as to the flow going down. So similarly, what happens is body is like, am I supposed to do digestion, or am I supposed to put my blood for muscles to perform, right? So there is a lot of confusion confusion internally to the body. So it's too much pressure for the body, so you need to give that much space for it. So allow them to have a 2 hour gap before their lunch, and then they come and they train. And then maybe if they are still feeling hungry, then they could have some lighter snack at that time.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
I'd request the participants if they have any more queries, please unmute your mic and ask the question. So by the time, if we can wait for 5 minutes if any of the participants does have any query. Uh, by that time, can you explain more about what could be a healthy meal plan for someone who works out, suppose say, or plays, say twice or thrice a week? So what would should be a meal plan that he should follow on a day-to-day basis?
Okay. So like I said, right, every nutrition plan is bio individual. Okay. So apart from that, you should look to make sure that you include your all the food groups in your
Didi,
diet. Okay. Like you
అన్న
need to make sure all your
డీడీ
food groups.
అయిపోయాకంట ఒక్కసారి ఇక్కడికి రండి పిలవండి ఒకసారి
We request
డీడీ
the
అయిపోతుంది
participants
కదా
to please
కడగడము అయిపోయాక ఇక్కడికి
unmute the
రండి
mic.
పై మా దగ్గర కాదు అదే కింద
Maybe
దాంట్లో ఉండండి
mute them.
Yeah, one second. Yeah,
Yeah.
please carry on.
Yeah, so I was just saying that, yeah, if you intend to work out, and what you need to do is you have to make sure that you eat enough for yourself. So whether you work out once, twice, or thrice a day, right? If you don't include all the food groups, somewhere the body is going to be deprived of the energy. That deprivation is also called stress in the body. Stress is not psychological, but also devoid of the same. Okay, so you need to make sure all your things that is necessary for you should be there. So that is your proteins, carbohydrates, fats, your vitamins and minerals. Now all your carbs will come from your rice, your rotis, your quinoas, your millets. Okay, your proteins will come in from your dals, your fish, your uh, for vegetarian, there are also soya and tofu kind of thing, right? Fish, egg, chicken also is there. And for your sorry, carbohydrate, fats will be basically your nuts, seeds. And so most of the times, right, and for your vitamins and minerals, you have your fruits and vegetables. But when we actually ask in people, not many people actually, so they would do the three main meals, which is absolutely fine. Our Indian meal is sufficient as to what we eat, but this minute micronutrients that are there, right, that goes on to miss. Okay, so the inclusion of fruits, at least 2 to 3 servings of fruits should be there in your diet to help the antioxidant to work on your body and to help you reduce inflammation. Vegetables should be a part. We are so focused only on proteins that we forget to take intake of the fiber, because if you overload your body with too much of protein, you will have problems of calcium leaching out of your body, strain on the kidney, right? And those things are there. So you need to make sure that there is enough of carbs, there is enough of protein, and there is enough of fat for you. And protein, maybe if you are a beginner, sorry, if you're just beginning to do, about 1 gram per kg body weight of protein can be taken at that point of time, and slowly can increase. Because when I work with people, I've seen that sometimes not overdoing too much also helps giving results to people. So every time you do, there should be a gradual intake as to what you're doing, and need based intake. So it would be essential, and it becomes very easier when you speak to someone personally and get your details done. Then it allows you to take informed decisions. It is as simple as, if you fall sick sometimes, right, you would generally go take a dolo or be like that. But there are certain times you fall sick, you would still go and see the doctor, right? Because you are still worried about yourself. So similarly, when you follow certain food habits, there would be many things right, but there would be certain things missing, or maybe you would still be doing certain things right. So to have that understanding, there is no harm to go and check with a professional to see what you're doing is in the space of correctness. And you can also probably look to monitor that whatever you're doing is also helping you to keep you on track. Because let me tell you, your fat, like your blood cells, has a life cycle of 90 days. Okay, so if you don't do anything, work for it, and just keep checking blood test, it doesn't make sense. You need to work for it and then look at that period frame to check for yourself. And on the other hand, when you are talking about fat, say suppose you stay with someone, work on yourself, and 1 month you're full clean and back to what you were doing, what happens is the fat cells life cycles is about 8 years. Okay, so while we help to work on you and reduce your fat cell size decreases and then gets out of the system. But while we are like, oh, today I'm like this, tomorrow I'm back to what I want to do, the fat cell size is back to shape. And not only that, you have included more fat cells into your body, so just imagine those cells also 8 years, right? So it's only going to be a vicious cycle happening back and forth. And then we suspect that, oh, when I was young, it wasn't happening. And now why is it happening? Because it's so much of accumulation that is happening in our body. So it is called lifestyle for a reason, because how you live it on a day-to basis is only going to give the output of your body. So what you eat inside is only going to cause it outside. Okay. So I hope, Prashant, I have answered you. I think I've got some
Yes.
questions.
Yes, we
So,
have a question from Ishwa.
okay,
Sometimes,
sometimes I get a headache while playing football and feel uneasy. Why is this caused? Okay, so Ishwar, maybe you should just check if it is also the temperature that is causing, or you might have not eaten enough food for yourself, or your sleep could have been deprived. So, and you might have not been hydrated. So, rule out on these things and see if headache is still occurring, or if you have I mean, sometimes people get eyesight, so certain times it could be of that reason. So probably rule out on these lines and see for yourself.
Hi, Abigail.
Hi, yeah.
Hi. So I just wanted to know how nutrition and our athletic performance are related. Could you please explain a bit on that?
Okay. So okay, so let me ask you one question, ma'am. Which is your favorite car?
My favorite car.
Yeah.
Okay, that will be a Mercedes or a Porsche, definitely.
Okay, Mercedes or Porsche. So if I have to take care of a Mercedes or Porsche, there will be correct servicing, there will be proper intake of fuel, and I would not compromise on the servicing of it, right? So similar to that understanding is the understanding of your body. Do you want to keep yourself as a Mercedes Benz Porsche? What do I need to do it? Okay. In my initial slides, I did mention that food acts like your fuel into your body. Okay, so if you don't have enough food for yourself, you are going to get deprived. So meaning, if I fill fuel to run only for 1 kilometer and I expect myself to drive the car till 10 kilometer, is it going to work? It's not going to
No.
work, right? It is going to stop. So similarly, in your case, I need to make sure that how much ever hours of workout you're putting, I need to feed you enough at that point of time so that you don't stop. So when we say we stop, what is our stop signs? We'll get cramped, we'll get fatigue, our lactic acid will build up. Okay, you will also then experience sometimes headache as well. Okay, and yeah, you will get sore. So we need to make sure that you eat enough for yourself throughout the day and take care of your workout meals and recovery meals, and then then sustain for the same. So overall, you would want to take care of yourself like a Mercedes Benz. Take care on all the servicing aspects of it and make it efficient. If not, you will degrade your whatever it is there. So when you are an athlete, you are very high maintenance, meaning from head to toe you need to take care of yourself as to why certain things happen. And yes, though food being one of the things, sleep, I always stress on that factor that sleep is very very essential, because sleep equals to recovery. So even if people are looking for children to grow, right, sleep plays a very important role as well in the same. So yeah, that's on that lines.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Amal has how to reduce weight. Amal, I suppose I have covered those things in the slide. So maybe you can enroll for our 15 minutes call and then have a talk with one of our nutritionists. I find myself getting tired too fast. What can I do about it? Harni, I can suggest that you can get a blood test done for yourself, because certain times uh, levels as your iron, B12, vitamin D being low can also cause you to be low in energy. So first get yourself checked on that, and of course we will have to look as to what you are eating as well. So maybe you could also get in connect with us. So maybe Prashant would be forwarding you a form, and you can have a look at that and get in touch with us.
Yes. Are there any more participants who would have more queries? Could you please ask? Okay, we'll end the session over here. And I would like to thank Abigail for an insightful session. We all learned a lot about how nutrition is important and how professional guidance is required to maintain a healthy lifestyle, along with sports and fitness. I would also like to thank all the participants for their presence. Interested participants, you could kindly register for the 15 minutes free telephonic session. We will float a form shortly after the session. So you can enroll over there and you will get a free 15-minute session with the experts. Abigail here is an expert, is a senior nutritionist who has worked with international and Olympic athletes. So to get more insights on the nutrition and how important it is in our day-to-day lives, along with sports and fitness, which is as much as important to us. You could enroll for a 15-minute session, a 15-minute call with the Goa Nutrition. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to Abigail too. I hope it was an insightful session for you too. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye bye.